You said.
Grab your seat, light it up, let's unwind. Kevin and Kerr bringing topics of all kinds, from cigars to sports, family and more. Everyday stories you'll want to explore. So take a puff or ponder away. Join the talk, it's the highlight of your day. Puff and ponder where the sparks ignite. Conversations blazing day or night. Tune in now, let the stories take flight. It's the Puff and Ponder podcast, where we get it right. From fast cars to last night's game, family laughs or today's big name. We've got the topics, we've got the vibe. Stay tuned in and enjoy the ride. So lean back, relax, take a break. Kevin and Kerr got the chat you'll appreciate. Puff and Ponder, the show that's great, where conversations ignite. Don't hesitate. So lean back, relax, take a break. Kevin and Kerr got the chat you'll appreciate. Puff and Ponder, the show that's great, where conversations ignite. Don't hesitate. Oh, hesitate.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Puff and Ponder podcast, where conversations ignite. I'm your host, Kevin Shahan. Joining me, as always, my co-host, Kerr Viajante. What's going on, Kerr?
Kev, how are you?
Doing good. Looking at your freshly shorn face. Jennifer, catchy tune. It is a catchy tune. I sing it each week in the green room.
I like to shave.
So,
I like to shave clean every once in a while to remind myself of why I grew a beard over this freaking.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because it feels kind of cool after you shave it for the like after a while. You're like, oh my gosh, so this is nice. This is what smooth skin feels like. And I look at the mirror, I'm like, oh Christ, please grow back faster.
And then like 6 hours later, it's, you got the 5 o'clock shadow and it's all stubbly and itchy. And yeah, so I know mine's growing. I need my, it's a little too short on mine. Like I said, it's starting to curl. So, but yeah,
I liked it, but I told you the first time I saw it, it was just like,
yeah,
God dang, dude. I didn't even know it was you at first. It looks very, very un-Kevin like. You look more like your cartoon picture.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the shortest we've ever gone, but it's this is also the hottest that I can remember being at work. So speaking of work, what a shit day. So I hate being the best employee in my company sometimes, because whenever they got a fucking new
cross the bear, Kevin.
Yeah. Whenever they got a new fucking idea, hey, let's run it by Kevin. Like when we switched to pay scale, went all the way to the top. President of the company, of Tires Plus, Firestone, Bridgestone. Hey, Kevin, I need a favor. I need you to get everybody on board with this new pay structure. Like, what? I kind of don't believe into it, but yeah, of course. There you go, Kev. We can't have anybody quitting on your watch in your realm of technicians you talk to. I'm like, all right. So as far as I know, no technicians quit on my watch. Most of them are pretty happy. Today, my store, we're in a little different market. So, we have, we're not busy all the time. So they want to change out our times of when we're open, and then they want to start closing in the off season on Sunday. So like, we need to prove that you can make up this time, like on Sundays. So right now, like on Sundays, it's like oil change day. We have one of the monkeys working, with one of the sales associates. We need to have a technician working on Sundays alongside the monkey. You need to get Kevin to get on board with this. So of course they come to me, hey, we need to know if you can work every Sunday until like March. Whatever. If that's what the company needs, that's what the company gets. So yeah, so now I'm working Saturdays and Sundays till next year.
You know what Dave Putty has to say about calling them grease monkeys?
Yeah, I know. You ever see a monkey change a fuel injector? You know. So whatever. It is what it is. You know. But we'll get in. What are you smoking tonight, Kerr? I'm gonna light up another cigar. What do you got?
I'm doing the Sandela.
Oh, right on.
This is another one of those cigars that, you know, I get and understand when people have, I guess maybe understand is a little too harsh, but I do get when people, you know, look at Candela and they're like, I don't like it, or it looks scary, or whatever the case may be. But when you smoke a cigar like this, where it's like there's very little bitterness of the Candela, you do get some of that grassiness, but the blend that Chris and the factory at Tabacalera Nueva Nica did with the San Andreas wrapper, it's just a great spicy cigar. And if you blindfolded someone and had someone smoke this, they'd fucking never know it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Jennifer, you should have said no, they won't fire. No, of course they're not going to fire me. I'm the best employee they have, you know, but there are little things that when I don't ever ask for anything, it's kind of like in the cigar world. Like I don't ask manufacturers for anything. I don't ask for nothing. But when I do ask, it's like, oh shit, you got to give it to him because he never fucking asked for anything. It's the same at work, you know, like when shit goes down. Like when I went down to Boynton Beach, you know, for this last class they sent me to, it's like, hey, I don't want to drive back on a Friday night. Get me a hotel for an extra day. You know, they're like, done, whatever, you can have it. We don't care what it costs. So it's little things like that when Kevin does ask for something, Kevin never gets told no. So
I find it very disturbing that you're referring to Kevin in a third person.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Very odd. Very odd.
Very odd indeed. We're gonna, before we kick off the show, let's we want to thank our partners over at Fog Box, cigar humidors and lighters. Let's hear a little word about Fog Box.
Let's be real. Most travel cigar cases look the same. Black, boring, forgettable. But Fog Box, they're doing it different. Every Fog Box travel case and lighter features custom hydro dip graphics, from bold patterns to badass designs that pop. These aren't just tools, they're statements. Whether you're at a lounge, a campsite, or on the beach, Fog Box gear stands out while keeping your cigars protected and fresh. Plus, the quality is rock solid. Airtight, rugged, and built to handle wherever you take it. If you're still carrying around the same black, plain cigar case everyone else has, it's time for an upgrade. Visit fogbox.com and grab something as unique as your cigar taste. That's fogbox.com. Built to travel, designed to stand out.
So we got a new girl at work today. So she's a transfer from another store. So we already got one woman working with us. She'd never been in the automotive industry before. She's doing great. Absolutely just crushing it. I have no qualms about handing her one of my tickets and getting the job sold. You know, women absolutely love talking. The men, not so much. The old men don't want to talk to a woman about cars, Kerr. Neither do I. But she's done a great job. So now we get the new girl that transferred. So I had to secretly take a picture of her and send it to Jessica. And Jessica literally just walks in as I'm saying this, and Jessica's like, you know, that's not a very good picture. I'm like, well, I couldn't go up to her and be like, hey, can we grab a selfie for my wife real quick? She wants to see what you look like. Well, you know,
I mean, give them some context. She looks like your ex-wife.
She does look a little bit like my ex-wife. I wasn't going to bring that up.
Why not? That's the whole point.
So,
hey, Jessica, it's better than her looking like Jessica.
Yeah. So, but one of the other technicians, you know, like he's actually a couple of the guys in the shop. They don't like women working in the automotive. They don't belong. They don't belong here. That's what they say. I don't belong here. It's a man's world. And I'm like, you
Wow.
fucking guys are HR fucking
Yeah,
nightmare.
that's
So,
not a good,
but yeah,
that's not a good
she was
attitude to have.
yeah, she was with us for about a half an hour before she was sitting out in one of our swivel chairs out in the shop, playing on her phone, swiveling around. And I'm like, oh, she's gonna fit right in here, just already, and then she left early because I got out like at 3:30 and I'm like, where's new girl? Yeah, she went home. Like, perfect. We found the perfect.
I was gonna say, man, none of the guys should bitch about that compared to what you with everything you've told me. They do the same shit.
Oh yeah, that's it. She's gonna fit right in.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's an old way of thinking.
That it is. So Kerr, I'm a little irritated. I was happy go lucky, and then right before the show, I saw the AP college football poll.
And Ohio State is ranked where?
3rd. Texas.
Behind Texas.
Penn State.
What?
Ohio State. Penn State, Kerr. Penn State. We've beat Penn State 13 fucking games in a row. We're the defending national champions. We beat Texas. Well, because Texas has Arch Manning and Penn State got Jim Knowles. Is that the reason? Yeah. I could understand in some way Texas, even though it's bullshit. But Penn State?
I don't get that one. That is they ended up where last year?
I don't know where Penn State ended up.
So let me see here. That was 2024, right?
Oh wait, Jen's one of her staff is going to Texas, Ohio State, then at the Horseshoe. Oh my god, that is so awesome! I got to work that day, and it's a fucking kickoff. First game, it's a noon game. What the fuck is going on with them with the noon game? It means out in California, it's gonna be a 9 o'clock in the morning game. Who wants to watch college football? I mean, I will watch college football at 9 a.m., but most people don't want to watch college football at 9 a.m. So, new girl too. I like her already. So,
yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
That was and they're showing here that the top AP top 25, and they have the AFCA coaches poll where Ohio State's number 2.
Yeah.
Which fine, but the top 25, like Penn State got 23 votes and Ohio State got 11.
Yeah, I want to know who's voting.
Fucking Notre Dame. Get Notre Dame out of the top 10 too, please. Come on.
I know.
Enough's enough.
Connor Stallions voted
Jesus,
9 times. But
Right,
then I saw, yeah. And then I saw the video that kid that kicked the 70-yard field goal. He was 17 years old.
Yeah.
17-year-old walk-on.
Well, you know my feelings about this. I said it to you on when we were going back and forth. Impressive. 70 yards. That's freaking. I gotta pull this message up. So 70 yards is pretty impressive. I mean, that's ridiculous. It just is. That's a bomb. That's a bomb. However, let's keep some perspective on this, okay? So for context, there's a dude who held the record for 63 yards. He said it in 1970. It was broken by 1 yard, 64 yards. That was broken in 2013. 6 people tied 63 yards in between that period of time. And the first time it was tied was in 1998. He was a chubby. Now, 1970, you saw the picture. He's chubby.
Oh, yeah.
He wore all those 1970 pads in uniforms, which was all heavy. The thigh pads, the knee pads.
Oh, yeah, restricting your movement. Yeah.
And he had a half a foot.
Yeah.
And this guy, 17 years old, wearing fucking, spandex shorts.
Board shorts, yeah.
Board shorts. kicks it, only beats him by 7 yards, and that record was set 55 years ago.
I wonder if the original guy that set the record 55 years ago, if he ever tried it without, pads. I'm sure he did. I'm sure, like, after he set that record, it probably wasn't filmed, and like, I wonder what.
Oh no, it's filmed.
No. Like if he just tried it without any pads on, be like, I wonder how far I could kick it, without all of this bullshit on, without guys coming, like giant men coming towards me,
I'll be honest with you. I think back in 1960, I think he's more concerned about probably drinking beer and hanging out and doing that kind of shit than can I kick this, I don't think Tom Dempsey was really concerned about that back in the day. But he was born with with half an arm and half a foot, and he kicked. He obviously you have to, but he kicked freaking straight on kicking, a 63-yarder. So yes, 70 yards is rather impressive. That's a bomb. However, being a 17-year-old wearing spandex shorts and freaking limber, young, muscular. All the freaking benefits of all we know now with freaking and plyometrics and all these different, supplements. You beat a guy who had a half a foot by 7 yards.
Yeah.
7 yards.
That probably had a day job, of like, on a construction site. And
again, a bomb. But when you think about that, Tom Dempsey, that dude freaking kicked the shit out of that ball.
Yeah,
and he from 1970 to 1998 when it was tied.
Yeah,
2013 when it was broken.
I mean that's insane. Do you ever see the latest ESPN the documentary on Jim Abbott? With the one hand, the pitcher. Oh man, I've been watching.
I've seen some of the previews for it. Dude, that guy's pretty impressive too.
Yeah, I watched probably a dozen little couple minute clips of it, and I got to go find the whole thing. What a fucking impressive guy that is.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it was amazing how he would pitch the ball and put his glove on.
Yeah, and they took him back to his childhood home, or like apartment building or what. But he used to be real close to the wall, and he would throw the baseball as fast as he could at the wall and try and change gloves before it hit him like in the face as it came back. And that's how he practiced.
Wow. That's impressive, man. That's
they have one of his shoes in a bar on Bourbon Street. Kerr, we gotta go find that next year at PCA.
Whose shoe? Tom Dempsey? He played for the Saints when he broke the record.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
For the Saints.
Yeah, he played for the Eagles too, but I think it is. But he played for the Saints.
That dude was so big. Like that shoe's probably like a Herman Munster shoe. I mean, that shoe's probably huge, even though it's half a
shoe. Oh no, it's tiny. Is it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. He didn't have it wasn't like he was missing toes or something. I mean, it was like right where it ain't big. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It's guys like him, Abbott, that really kind of defeat the odds, and they come out and it's like, here's like, again, you saw the picture. The guy's this pudgy guy with a half a foot.
Absinthe house. Oh no, I'm gonna go find the absinthe house.
Oh, geez.
For absinthe and a shoe. But yeah,
half
he was. I couldn't. Yeah, have a shoe. I couldn't tell how big, how tall. He looked like a big dude, but there like a couple of the photos I saw, you sent me one and then I looked up a few. There wasn't like a real good point of reference on his size. I couldn't tell.
Tom Dempsey was 6'2", 255.
Okay, so he knew he was
he's a big dude.
Yeah,
he's a big dude, but still, what's his face? Remember Sebastian Janikowski? He was the kicker for the Raiders.
Yes, Yes, I was trying to place where I knew the name Janikowski.
He's a little squirrely. He always would try and tackle people. He wanted to play defense. He was 6'1", 260. He was a big dude, and he had a leg on him. He just wasn't really, his consistency was here because he'd try and bomb the shit out of his kicks, but he tied.
Yeah, I remember the Grammatica twins, Martine, and then whatever his brother's name was.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's amazing though. I mean, again, that 70 yards is pretty impressive, but holy balls to be able to kick, to have a record for that long with a half a foot. That's
Oh
that,
yeah,
I mean, I know that sports change and everything else. We talk about Babe Ruth's record and stuff. It was like, well, Babe Ruth, while everybody hears Mark McGuire's doing steroids, Babe Ruth was drinking beer, smoking cigars, and eating hot dogs.
Oh yeah,
that was
yeah. Now they have up here in Sarasota the like Tim Tebow's training facility, like the D1. I think I forget what it's. I think it might be called D1. Yeah, athletes from all around the world come to this training facility. I think it might be a school as well. But yeah, whatever you want to learn, pitch, baseball, football. So whatever you want to excel at, if you have that, if your parents have that money, you go there. And yeah, that wasn't a thing, like I said. But yeah, it's like you said, it's the training regiment, it's the eating right, it's working the muscles. And
yeah. So Babe Ruth used a bat 36 inches long, and it weighed anywhere between 40 and 46 ounces. He said earlier in his career, he used a 54-ounce bat early in his career.
Man, I remember growing up, my dad would play co-ed softball, and then he graduated to church softball with all the other old guys, but his entire career, he's only, since like high school, he's had the same wooden bat since high school, and it's about 4.5 feet long and weighs 87 pounds. I remember as a kid, like trying to pick this bat up that he still has, and he was saying just a giant. I don't know if he ever switched, to a lighter bat, but as far as I know, he always used the same big old massive wooden bat.
That my brother did that too. To keep things in perspective, today in 2025 MLB, 42 inches. They can't be any longer. So the average bats between 33 and 34 inches and weigh about 30 to 33 ounces. Babe Ruth.
So Babe Ruth was a full pound.
Yeah.
A full pound heavier.
Yeah. My brother, he had a record in Pennsylvania. He was one of the last, if not the last, high school athletes hit X amount of home runs with a wooden bat. Because right when my brother he played in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, that's when aluminum started getting really popular back then.
Oh yeah,
but he still used a wooden bat. He had a good.
Yeah, I remember.
My brother could jack a ball. Whew. And he had an arm.
I remember a number of years ago, ESPN did something with a couple of big hitters, and they gave them aluminum bats, and they had a pitching machine, and like, hey, let's see what like a pro would do with an aluminum bat. Yeah, they were hitting it out of the stadium consistently. Just dingers after dingers.
Oh well, that's absurd. I mean. That's oh my God, that's not even funny. I mean, those things are so light, and the action that you get off of a bat is absurd. That's just, I can't imagine. There's this, like you said, it'd be the home run derby.
Yeah, every game.
Yep. So Kevin, I got to ask you: do you watch the WNBA at all?
I am a Caitlin Clark fan.
So
I'm not going to lie. In Indiana Fever. I need to see. I don't know. I'm assuming Ohio's got I probably should see. I'm assuming Ohio has a WNBA team, so I got to look into it. But I like the Indiana Fever. I like the that little blonde girl that always sticks up for Caitlin and like just throwing the shoulders. And I forget what her name is.
Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah.
So she's like, you know what? Fuck these other bitches. They're gonna come after our player. Yeah, you're gonna get a fucking elbow. And
you saw when Caitlin got poked in the eyes, and then she kind of back with that chick.
Oh yeah.
And then she got up and went after, and she grabbed her by the back of the head. They're like, "Oh, she grabbed her ponytail." It's like, no, she's a black belt in jujitsu. she freaking got her in a position and she's talking shit as she's got full control, because that was the one thing that you learn is if you want to control someone's body, it's their head. You freaking push their head here. Wherever you push their head, that's where their body's got to follow.
That's it.
In the back of her head, just talking smack. And I'm like, that's the team I got to root for right there.
That's it. I did see the last week where the one player's wig came off, and then they ejected the guy. They eject because he's making fun. He was trash talking. A fan was trash talking that her wig came off, and they pointed him out, and they ejected him from the game.
Oh,
and I'm like, what the fuck is this? These are grown ass women. You wear a wig in a basketball game, and it gets knocked off, and you can't take a little jab from a fan.
Yeah, I mean, this whole dildo throwing thing is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, a little disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie, but is the same as a squid. You throw a squid on the ice, that's disrespectful too. So a squid and a dildo is the same thing.
Well, but it is, but it's not. I mean, listen, I think there's a little bit in every one of us that kind of, especially guys, probably get a little bit of that 12-year-old boy giggle. When they see that.
I know.
But like you said, it's horribly disrespectful. It's but it's not the same thing as throwing a squid, Kev. It's not the same thing as throwing a squid, man. One is 100%, this, sexual freaking, mockery, et cetera, et cetera. Throwing a squid that's more, what's that group that Pamela Anderson belongs to? The PETA. That's a PETA. That's a PETA issue. Yeah, you're not going to PETA because a dildo was thrown on the basketball.
Yeah, I see that. I see they got the picture of the guy who's walking through the stadium with a dildo in his hand. You couldn't even hide it, bro. Put it in your pocket.
Oh my god.
So, but yeah, so that's I don't like that at all. But
no, it's ridiculous.
But the wig thing, you should be able to trash talk these fucking players.
100%. I mean, as long as, listen, how many times have you seen freaking Spike Lee get on the court and talk shit during a freaking Knicks game to the other players and stuff? Nothing's done. Oh
yeah. And how many baseball games have you been to? I've been to my dad's church softball games and then heckled the other fucking players. But yeah, you get into a baseball game, you're in the outfield and you're just razzing that play nonstop. These women, but yeah, it's where would the WNBA be without her? They'd be back where they were a couple of years ago. So I mean, she's a lot of NBC rising star. I like the rivalry between her and Angel Reese. I hate Angel Reese. I don't hate her. I don't like her. I think she's I just word, Kev. Yeah, hate is a hard word. So I apologize. I take that back. I do not like Angel Reese at all. I know. But
what do you like about her, Kev?
She just comes off as I don't know. It's just like when she says, this league's it's about me too, and it's about, and I don't like her stat stuffing. You get 4 of your own rebounds and that counts. What the fuck is that? So but I just don't like her. I think she's I don't know. I don't say arrogant, but that's not the right term. Ignorant, attention, mouthy. Mouthy. I don't like that she cries about money. Like she can't afford to pay her rent because it's like $3,200 a month. But then she shows up to these games in these multi-$1,000 outfits. She's got a podcast. Fuck, Shaq was on her podcast. I like that one too because Shaq fucking gave props to fucking Caitlyn during that podcast too. So that was hilarious. But yeah, it's and I did not like the pay us what you owe us or something. That whole shirt, that's kind of a bullshit. Your fucking league's losing. I don't know the whole intricacies, so I don't want to speak out of turn. But from what I hear, your league's losing money, being subsidized by the NBA. Suck. But they should be making more than $75,000 a year. So
No, I mean, yeah, but it's it's like anything else. It's is the organization you're working for, is it a moneymaker? You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
it's like, you look at these, like we go down to ECHL hockey games, down at and you're like, these guys aren't making very much. And it's because they're
Yep.
fucking selling tickets for like $10 a pop, and
Yeah.
yeah, they may make a lot of money selling beer, but they're not getting that. Doesn't count. You know, it's just about what that organization is bringing in. I think Caitlin Clark has definitely brought notoriety and has put asses in the seats for the WNBA, and I think that I think especially with what you say with Angel Reese, I think there's a way of still um, accepting that, but still creating a competitive environment, without trying to draw attention and trying to take attention. And I think at that point, maybe about 90% of the people are gonna be like, no, 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 not really. They may have 10%, be like, yeah, yeah, we agree with you, Angel. But no, I think most of them are like, no, kind of it's I think all boats rise with the tide. And Caitlin Clark came in and was a huge wave and definitely raised the tide. And I think as more of the WNBA athletes come in and produce more and actually put on a good exhibition, a good game, you're going to continue to rise. You just are.
Yeah, exactly. And RJ, if Race would embrace the rivalry of Caitlyn like Magic Bird, yeah, exactly. I think that's what people kind of want between them two. They kind of want a Magic Bird rivalry, but I mean, but those were two great players. I mean, Magic was good, and from what I've seen, Angel Reese is not that good.
Well,
So,
Bird and Magic Johnson, I mean, their rivalry goes back to college.
oh yeah,
And they definitely had a great rivalry, even to the point where they talked a lot of smack on the court, you know. But I think also there's just social media and the ability to have your voice be heard nowadays is just so much different now than it was in the 70s and the 80s back when they played. You
oh
know,
yeah,
you may have leak a fake story about something, and it may get show up in a newspaper that is you're trying to get your team fired up or whatever. But now it's like freaking you have so many different platforms to voice your opinion or to bitch and complain. Then it takes about 2.2 seconds for it to freaking make its round, and then it takes about another 2.2 seconds for everybody to criticize it and rip it apart. It's just things are moving too fast, Kev. I sound
oh
like an
yeah,
old man. I sound like an old man.
yeah.
Moving too fast.
Yeah. Yeah. RJ Caitlin needs to get healthy though. That's what I'm afraid of. For as much as she's out, I'm almost afraid she's gonna flame out, and I mean, well, she'll always go on to do great things,
Mhm.
I love the way she helps her community. She's kind of like a Peyton Manning. She gives back to her local community. She donates millions of dollars, yeah. So I from what I've seen, she seems like a genuinely good person, kind of like she reminds me a lot of Peyton Manning. So, but
Yeah, I mean, I love seeing when and it's also it's a lot of times you see these athletes do a lot for their communities, and you don't hear about it because they're not getting someone to follow them around in newspapers, and they're not talking about it. So um, I love seeing these athletes get back to community because they when you do that you're actually you get it. You get it because this is I've never been a we person when it comes to sports. I don't say, oh, well, we're going to play this weekend when it comes to a team. I don't say we unless I attended either I attended the college or I played for the team. That's just a carry thing. That's just it just is. But when you do have like a sports team that is, ingratiating your city, whether it's like the Indiana Fever or the Colts or the Eagles or the Steelers, any team that is reflective of that city, there's a lot of pride that city takes in their teams, and I think as athletes give back to the community, that's great. When I lived in Pittsburgh, there was so much that the Pittsburgh Steelers football players did to the with the communities. It was impressive, and the and the Penguins too. They did a great deal. Mario Lemieux did so much with the community in Pittsburgh, especially the cancer centers. With all that he was involved with, and it's great seeing that. It just really is. I think. That needs to be celebrated more, I think, than the actual athletic ability of the individual.
Yeah, and Tampa's a big one. You got the Lightning, the Rays, and the Bucks. Man, like it seems like every day, like there are players doing something from all those teams somewhere in the community. Just and usually you hear about it like after the fact. Like you don't say, "Hey, come out and see." It's like a week later. Like, "Oh, hey, last week or the other day, so and so did a charity fundraiser for the kids, or they were at the hospital doing the meet and greets." And Tampa's really, really behind their teams. So,
no, I think that's great, and you should be. I mean, that's your, you shouldn't be fair weather fans. I mean, you're gonna have good years, you got bad years, but. When you see athletes giving back to the community like that, I think that should be celebrated.
I love Chicago Bears fans. God, they're always so mad, Kerr. So like second game of the season. Well, we're done. It's like, good God, guys, it's game 2, of the season. Just like, well, we're done. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
They already mapped out what the rest of the season's going to look like.
I know.
We saw how they went the first 2 games. Now they're gone. They're done. The Bears, they're done. Another disappointing season. Another third place.
Another disappointing season. Let's just call it done. And then usually like 6 games in, like, hey, we might have a chance. It's like, what?
It's because that dangling false hope in front of them.
Yeah, I know.
Point.
I see they got the and I didn't see if they're, I saw it during preseason, they're going to the digital first down. Are they bringing that into regular season?
I think so. I think they're getting rid of the chain gang, right?
And no, they say they weren't getting rid of them because they're still going to be there, for as backup. But fuck those guys. Well, not those guys in the chain gang. It's the guy reading the ball that, the referees, we've all seen it. It's like, it's short by like 3 inches. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, not. What? Hey, can you turn around and look up on that big screen up there? A little closer view.
I don't know, man. I think technology is great and I get it, but I still, as much as I hated it, as much as I bitched about it, there is just something about that home field advantage of anything stupid like the umpire, which we have our first female umpire too the other day.
I heard she fucked up her first call.
Oh, really?
She botched it.
Oh, but I think having that home field advantage, the referee that looks at it and goes, "Oh no, it's a first down," and you're like, "No, it's so short." Drive the fans crazy. I love that. I think that's great. I think that's something in sports that has always been that, instead of it being 100% objective, there's going to be about 10 to 15% subjectivity, and it depends on who's on the take or where you're playing. That subjectivity may be a hell of a lot more as well. I think that's what always makes the sports as fun as it is.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing the memes like, how are the refs going to with the new digital first down? How are they still going to or what are they going to do to make sure Patrick Mahomes still wins? So.
Hey, listen, man, that's the reality of it, and you know what? That's the whole. I think that adds to the drama. That adds to the whole freaking, the whole aspect of the game. I think it's funny. I do.
Yeah, and then I saw just yesterday and I think it was just a rumor that the Major League Baseball was looking to purchase the Savannah Bananas, because they've done something that like nobody's doing, selling out every fucking game in every stadium that they're doing. So
Jennifer and I talked about it. I think they have a waiting list of a couple of years. The bananas, Jen. Yeah,
They were in Clemson. They were the first meeting.
yeah.
yeah, they're in Clemson. Yeah,
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
yeah, they played there, and it was like freaking again. You can't get a ticket.
Yeah, because nobody wants, everybody wants to go see a game that, there's a time limit on the game. They make it fun. Yeah, it's
Someone found a way to take the Harlem Globetrotters and turn them into a baseball team.
yeah, exactly.
Because I remember when I was a kid, we went to go see the Harlem Globetrotters. It was awesome. It was fun.
I always wanted to go, and but I watched them on TV, and then I remember a couple of the movies that they did. Harlem Globetrotters versus whatever, and it was they were always great. So it was funny. I remember when they got stranded on Gilligan's Island.
They're in Gilligan's Island. They were in cartoons. They were in Scooby Doo.
Oh yeah, Harlem Globetrotters and Scooby Doo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So here's what's funny: when you look up the Savannah Bananas online for tickets, it says looking to score some tickets. Join the list here. You got to go on a waiting list.
Yeah. Yeah, they refuse to sell to like the third parties, and you can still find like obscenely high ticket prices, but not like like on StubHub where they'll go in, they'll buy 25% of the entire stadium, and then seconds after they go on sale and then jack the prices up. They don't allow that. Savannah Bananas.
Well, here's here's they're going to be in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and
great little town.
$35 a ticket.
Yeah,
ticket zones. You got and I mean, I don't know if they're still available or not. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole of trying to open up an account and all the other shit and get freaking Savannah Banana fucking emails spamming my inbox. But it's crazy that you can get these tickets. Crazy.
Yeah, and a few of the teams they're doing good. You got the other I don't know, I forget where they're based out of, and I have one of their jerseys that Bones sent me. The Rocket City Trash Pandas. Great fucking logo. They're a fun team to watch, and you're seeing more and more of those teams coming out with the fun names, the great graphics. Yeah, didn't you say you have like a local one near you that was like South Carolina had?
We have the Greenville Swamp Rabbits.
Yeah, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits.
Yeah, they changed their names. They used to be the what were they? The Warriors. They're the Greenville Warriors.
Yeah, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a lot of these teams changing names to fun things where you can, the merch, obviously merch is where it's at. A swamp rabbit, a trash panda, a banana. Those are things people want to buy.
Well, and if you have a pretty cool, logo, that's you're set, but if some of these logos, I've seen them, I'm like, easy. Like, dude,
yeah, I got
to go back to fucking drawing board, man.
Yeah, I got to reach out to there's a cigar lounge, like literally like across the street, almost across the street from the stadium, from the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And a customer of mine goes there. He lives in that area. Where they look that up here? Where are they? I think they're in Kentucky or Tennessee. Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Rocket City. What are they? What are they? Are they
baseball? The same as like the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, there they are. Rocket City Trash Pandas. They are in. Let me see here. It looks like they're the Angels are. They're the minor league for the Angels.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And Jen says they're in Arizona. They're in Arizona.
Are they? For some reason, I thought they were in like Kentucky or something. But yeah, I was gonna reach out to that cigar lounge. I'm like, hey, do you want to be the, you want some Trash Panda cigars? So plus I also want to, find out if they're, making sure they're not selling Trash Panda cigars. But yeah, like, hey, do you want to be the official cigar of the Rocket City Trash Pandas? You need to figure that shit out.
Jennifer's way off base here, so I'm not. She's my whore. She's a very bad fact finder. So the Rocket City Pandas are in Madison, Alabama, nowhere near fucking Arizona. Thanks.
Oh, Alabama, you're right, Alabama, because my buddy works for my buddy works for NASA. That's why. So yes, now that Alabama.
Yep, Alabama. Jen just notified me that she did not even look it up. I thought, well, then you need to not even include yourself in this conversation if you're not looking things up.
Yes.
But South Carolina Stingrays. That's an ECHL team. That's down in Charleston, I believe.
You guys got a lot of Stingrays? Seems like an odd name for South Carolina.
I don't think so. I don't know. It doesn't seem. I mean, Orlando has the Solar Bears. I don't think that they have very many polar bears, but it's a nice twist on the name Polar Bears.
Yeah.
Solar Bears.
Yeah, see, that's a twist on a name, so that makes sense. But the Stingrays, that don't make much sense.
No. What? Hold on, Kevin. What?
In Spartanburg, we have the Spartan Burgers. That's the new minor league team.
Spartan Burgers in Spartanburg.
Spartan Burgers?
Spartan Burgers. Yeah.
All right. That sounds dumb.
Yeah. You got the Florida Everblades instead of Everblades.
Yeah.
Everblades.
Yeah. Yeah. We have the Everblades. Yeah.
You got your Cincinnati Cyclones. That's actually a pretty cool logo. That's ECHL team.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that one a lot. That one's actually
RJ, they need to bring back the Lingerie Football League.
Lingerie Football League. What's funny here is the Maine Mariners is an ECHL team, and that actually used to be an American Hockey League team many, many years ago. Years ago, when my uncle was a linesman in the AHL and did that ECHL, the Maine Mariners used to be a minor league team for the Flyers, and they actually had the same colors as the Flyers, and they actually had the ship, the old wooden ship wheel, and that was their logo with a big M in it.
Okay.
So, yeah, some of these names have kind of resurfaced and have changed, but you got the Savannah Ghost Pirates. That's a very not cool logo.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit.
Savannah Butt Pirates, more like it, but
that is not.
I know. Tampa Bay, they changed their name. They started off as the Devil Rays, and they just changed it to the Rays. Just because some people didn't like the devil, because that's what Florida. I mean, you go off the coast. I mean, you see devil rays all over the place. So now we're just the Rays.
Yeah, I like the AHL still has. I mean, there's still some pretty cool teams in there. Like you got the Hershey Bears. You have the Milwaukee Admirals. Now the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. They used to be the Philadelphia Phantoms. They resurfaced as the Lehigh Valley. You got the Providence Bruins, which basically is the Penguins minor league team. A lot of these, it depends on who they're affiliated with. Their logo will reflect that as well. And the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. But I think the AHL does change their affiliations. I don't think as much as ECHL, but it's pretty interesting. When you watch this, but I mean, we go to the Harrisburg Senators, or not the Harrisburg Senators, the Greenville Drive, and the Greenville Drive is a minor league team for the Red Sox, and their stadium downtown Greenville, it looks like a little Wrigley Field, or it's not Wrigley Field. What's the one in Boston, Jen? The field in Boston, baseball field, Fenway Park. So they got the green, like a mini green monster and everything.
Yeah. We have the Rays. They're minor league teams here in town. It's the Stone Crabs. So that's they play here locally, and then the Rays will come down for spring training, down here to town.
I know. What's his face? Doesn't Bill Murray, part owner of the baseball team, the River Dogs down in Charleston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, RJ, hockey jerseys are definitely the best. Yeah, except in Florida, we can't wear a hockey jersey because I don't want, there's like no acceptable time to wear a 35-pound jersey. I love hockey jerseys. They're great, but they are big and they are fucking heavy.
Yeah, you get a real one, most definitely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And all the jerseys I buy, I only have a couple. They're all, even my NBA, I have the Cincinnati Bearcats. Not the NBA, but yeah, it's an officially licensed tank top and basketball, and it weighs probably 2 pounds. It's NFL jerseys are the only ones that are light.
Yeah, hockey jerseys are pretty heavy. I mean, they're
yeah,
no
and
joke. I
they're
can't remember being in Florida.
Yeah, and they're short sleeve and they still go down to your wrist. So.
Yeah, it's there is no, I'm gonna roll my sleeves up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, give me a hockey tank top, please.
Mm-hmm. Greenville is the home of Shoeless Joe Jackson, right?
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Huh.
Shoeless Joe. They actually have a little museum here with this stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. He's little Greenville, South Carolina. Shoeless Joe.
Oh, that's cool. Maybe we'll have to go up there sometime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, he's I know every restaurant you go downtown. I mean, you go down there, there's pictures of him down in this area and different teams he played for, because then before he made it into the professionals,
Yeah.
But he played for the Greenville Spinners, when he played baseball here in the early 1900s.
My favorite strip club, the Greenville Spinners.
Greenville.
Yeah, my little hometown in Ohio, Lancaster, Ohio. They have a little museum, and it's literally just a little tiny house. And it was William Tecumseh Sherman. It was like nobody goes there. Like one of them historic. It was like his childhood home. You walk in, like the whole museum takes like 5 minutes to see.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think his museum's very big. If he's Shoeless Joe, they're probably not going to have a lot of his shoes in there. But
yeah,
it's a little fun fact here in Greenville.
No, right on.
Shoeless Joe. So, have you watched any preseason games?
I have not. Just been catching it. All I do is work, man. Like I said, I'm almost done with my 6 days a week. I got to muscle it through August, and then starting in September, I'm back to 5 days a week at work, which is good. So, so I'll get to watch some games, get caught up on some of the world that I'm missing. It all starts this weekend. I'm coming up to see you, Friday. So that'll be, we'll get to hang out for Friday and Saturday and smoke some cigars and do absolutely nothing else. We gotta go down.
I gotta get some. I gotta get a cigar route for us.
Yeah, we need to go out Saturday before the barbecue. And then let's hit some lounges. And,
well, Friday we're gonna go down to Boda's for the Blackwork Studio.
It's Friday night. Yeah, hopefully Jessica, knock on wood, is going to join us. She's still. It's going to come down to the wire with this fucking school and this lawsuit we got with them, and it's just a nightmare. So, hoping. I mean, she literally won't know until like Wednesday night.
Damn it,
whether she's. Yeah, I know. It's just.
Well, hopefully she can make it, because I'm looking forward to going down to Boda's, see my guys down there, do the Blackwork Studio. Then from there, we could even probably shoot over to go check out Chuck and those guys down at Torch Cigar Lounge. Then kind of call it evening, and then just hit the ground running on Saturday. We'll go see Kartik.
Yeah,
go see Kartik.
We can swing by Bob the cigar guy and see his studio and go,
We can
oh,
down in
yeah,
Travelers
yeah.
Rest. I know that there's a cigar lounge there that they sold, and I haven't seen it reopen at all.
Oh yeah, which one's that?
FH Cigars.
They sold?
FH Cigars sold. There's two of them. There's FH. There's FH.
Yeah, and FH2. Yeah.
FH2 is down the road from my house. FH is over in Travelers Rest.
I was there once.
Yeah, they sold that, and Jen says it's still under remodeling. So I don't know.
That was a tiny shop.
There what?
That was a tiny shop. Oh,
Jen says they're doing something to the shop. I mean, I don't know what more you can do to that thing. It was basically you walked in, there's a humidor, there's a cash register, and there's a fucking shed outside.
So last time I was up there to see Bob, I stopped in there and bought a couple of cigars. Literally just the other day, I found one of the cigars that I bought there. And I never smoked, and it was some like golden cigar or something. I don't know. I just tossed it back in my mystery bin.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what cigar, who bought that place, or what the name of it is anymore. I really don't. They were working with what they had. I mean, so
you
had and I remember when they first opened up their cigar lounge, Duncan did a lot of advising them. And I remember Duncan and I went over there, and they were talking about getting one of those, prefab, barns that you can buy, and like, no, just build something out here with a lot of screens in it. So in the summertime you get some air going on, and in the wintertime you can close it up, and they ended up doing that, and it did quite well, for being in Travelers Rest and not having an actual proper lounge. They made that work, and they opened up FH2, I don't go to either one of them that much at all.
It's
CR too far away.
Yeah, that's a project though. Opening up a lounge, man. That's Jessica and I had the opportunity to buy a lounge in our area not too long ago, and it was for my family doctor, and it wasn't a bad price. I think we probably could have got it for around 700 grand, 800 grand, but it's hard to compete if you don't have, it wasn't in the greatest area. It's tough.
It's
just,
yeah. I mean, that's where, I mean, we've had this conversation with all the different, very successful lounge owners and such. It's having a good balance of your traditional cigars or cigar brands, and then also having some boutiques, but a lot of folks, what happens is they start off, they want to carry a lot of boutiques, and it takes longer to pick up. And after a while, when someone keeps coming in asking for, Rocky Patel, or Perdomo, and then after a while, you're like, well, shit, I got to start carrying these, and then you just that now becomes a your norm, and you kind of phase out your mid-sized to smaller boutique brands. Then it's like, okay, well, shit, unless the environment is extra special, I can go on CI, Santa Clara. That's all I'm looking at. I'm looking at the Santa Clara fucking catalog right now. Is all I'm looking at, with the prices marked up a little bit more. There's a lot of great cigar lounges around here that get it, and actually have a good balance of cigars. It's like when we haven't gone to Bodo before when you got here, did you? You going to Bodo?
No, I don't think I've been to I think we went to Kardec, and then we went to that other place that did the check cashing that Duncan used to work at. I think and then the lady that had the florist shop as well. I think those are the three that we hit last time.
Yeah. Yeah. Boda's, you'll go to Boda's really nice. I mean, it's they redid their humidor. They have a really good selection, great balance. I mean, it's I think what sets Cardic, a little bit different is that Cardic still has some vintage stuff, hidden amongst the shelves that you got to dig a little bit more. But when you talk about a just great selection, Boda's got a fantastic selection. Torch, you go down to Torch. Their selection is very limited, but they got but the cigars they have are great. They have El Mago. They have
and Torch has a full bar, right?
That's the other thing too. I mean, that is a bar that has with a cigar lounge. Sometimes you have a cigar lounge, a cigar shop that also has a bar. They are primarily a bar that has a nice humidor, small humidor. They got a great, really small, great selection. And then they got a bar. You hang out and you drink. That's what you're there for.
Yeah, and I will choose a place like that 9 out of 10 times. And not that I like to have a cocktail, with when I'm having a cigar. I don't always just want a soda, and I'm not a craft beer. They'll have craft beers and just like I don't know. I just want a cocktail sometimes. So usually I'll choose Jessica's different, obviously, but she'll I like a full bar. I like a full bar, even though I'm only going to drink the one thing. I like it when they have a full.
I like a full bar. Do you have Bacardi? Yeah, then I'm not staying.
Yeah. But so you talk about boutiques versus regular. I remember we were in Atlanta years ago, and not me and Jessica, just me, and I was visiting some friends up there, and they took me to this craft beer place, and it really is like cigars. It's like, oh hey, like what do you normally drink? And I was drinking beer at that time. I'm like, oh I like a Guinness. I like a Murphy's Irish Red. Those are my two favorite beers. I go, do you have those? No, but we got something similar to those. And I'm like, but do you have Guinness?
Right, yeah.
Instead of something similar to that. And they're like, well, so you do like the flights. So, I got like a flight of beers, and it's just like, hey, which one do you like? I'm like, can I get a Bacardi and Diet? I know she got a bar up there. I'm just going to have that. But it's the same thing with boutique cigars, so you do have to have a mix, because some people they just don't want to try, boutique cigars. It's like, you go, hey, what do you normally like? Gerard, we just had him on the show. Gerard's probably a great guy, a great tobacconist. Like, hey, oh, you like Padron? We have Padron, but you really need to try this. If you like Padron, really try this. Hey, oh, you like the Liga number 9? We have that. You can buy that, or you can really try this. It's something, so
yeah.
And so some people just be like, no, I'll just take my Padron. I'll just take my Liga 9. Oh, you don't have that? Now it's 50-50. Do I stick around here? Do I take a suggestion and buy the boutique? So I understand, some of these lounges, they want a boutique, but then you got a certain number of people.
You also got to stick, you got to either start off balanced or at least stick with it, because you see so many of these shops that'll start off with a heavy boutique, and they realize that you either have to have a very strong person in the humidor that is going to be able to say, okay, you want a Liga, why do you like a Liga? What do you like about the flavor? What tobaccos you like? And really talk them through and go, okay, if you like that, then you're going to like this. What do you like about, the Perdomo? What do you like about this? Well, if you like that, you're going to like this. And really have a good rapport. You can't have a humidor full of boutiques and have someone just sit there and go, hey, let me know if you got any questions.
Exactly. It's like, oh, you like that? Why do you like that? I love, I love Connecticut broadleaf. Oh, hey, have you tried, this? Camacho makes a broadleaf cigar that's fantastic. It's oh yeah, I'll like that. But then some guys, like I was at the very first the launch party of the Red Meat Lovers Club cigar, and me and my buddy Aaron, we met a guy that was smoking a Liga number 9. Like, oh hey, why do you like that cigar? Yeah, I was just told this is the best cigar out there. That's all I smoke. I'm like, oh, that's why you're here? Because of Steve Saka? Yeah, who's that? Well, I mean, he's here for Dunbarton in his new cigar, but but he's the one that helped. Yeah, now it's just this is all I smoke. They just told me this was the best. And that guy, and then there's no changing that guy's mind. And like didn't try, wasn't worth it. Like that guy right there, you're never gonna get that Padron guy to ever smoke anything but Padron. That's all, and there's nothing wrong with that. If I wasn't who I was and in this industry, I would have 8,000 cigars of like 3 manufacturers.
Right.
Like I would smoke the same fucking thing over and over again. So I don't blame those people either.
No, I mean it's again like you said, I don't blame them either. I mean it definitely. I remember when I first walked into talk about the place Duncan used to work at. When I first met Duncan, we walked through the humidor and he was asking me a ton of questions. And as he was asking me questions, he would pick a cigar off the off the rack, and he would sit there and chat with me and blah 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 and go through all this stuff. By the time I was done, I had a handful of cigars, and I probably knew maybe, I don't know, a fourth of them. 3/4 of the cigars that he handed me, I was unfamiliar with. They were boutique cigars, but that was how I got introduced to new cigars. And then as I started learning that, when I started going out to lounges, then I started doing the exact same thing. I started looking for, I kind of like Jessica. What do you have that's different? What do you have unique? Do you have a house blend? Who makes your house blend? Looking for something a little bit different that I can't get anywhere else. If I walk into a freaking cigar shop in freaking Boise, Idaho, or freaking Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or Greenville, South Carolina, what's different about your lounge than any other lounge?
Yeah, exactly. I was in a lounge talking about Duncan. You had a handful of cigars, and I try and tell that to lounge owners, because it was one of the greatest sales tactics I'd ever seen in a lounge, and it was a lounge owner talking with somebody new in the humidor. And I love being the fly on the wall and just listening, like their sales technique and how they're doing it. And someone didn't know what they wanted. They knew what they had been smoking. So the guy, went around like, oh, hey, I think you'll really like, and handed them the cigar. Once you got a cigar in your hand, you're fucking walking out with that thing, So, but he got him like 4 different cigars, and he's like, hey, so you have those 4. I'll give you the 5th one for free. Pick out any cigar you want, and the person, oh yeah. Yeah, I get a free cigar, and then they walk out like an $80, bill, and I'm like, that was fucking genius, because it's you give it to them, let them hold it, because now they've taken ownership.
Yeah,
they haven't bought it yet, but you don't want to be that guy to be like, hand it back. Well, just let me take this one to give those 3 back. Oh, you're being a douche at that point, and you're not, but that's just kind of a feeling. But yeah, that was a great sales technique, and I've said that to multiple lounge owners. Like, I've seen it work, and it's fantastic.
I think what's interesting about that is, as you mentioned, is once you have someone, as you're walking around with them, and you can get them to hold 3 cigars. It's like, okay, hey, you know what? If you get 2 more, if you get 1 more, you get 1 for free. At that, and because the word free, everyone likes. So now you got 3 cigars. It's like, okay, I got 3 cigars. It's 8, 10, 12. Hey, if you get 1 more, you get 1 more for free. It's like, okay. So if I get 1 more, 8, then I get free. Yeah, sure. Sign me up. Next thing you know, now you got someone who's walking out with a handful of cigars again, because you had them hold at least 3 in their hand, and now you've convinced them that they buy 1 more, they're going to get 1 for free. Because at that point, you're already committed. And like you said, unless you're going to be like, let's walk around here and just put these back in the boxes that we got them from.
That's it. But and there's another great story on that one. Edka, she's the Florida rep for Dunbarton. So how are you doing, lady? Hopefully you'll join us in the chat panel for the Lanceros sampler reveal show that we have with Steve next week. But yeah, so I was at a lounge once, and I've seen other lounges where they have like one of my local lounges. They have like a little basket, so like a little tray. You know, hey, just do your shopping. You know, you can keep your put the cigars in the tray. Obviously, because nobody wants to just carrying them around, so you have a little tray, and there's like a little bucket on the door, or next to the door on the as your exit. And he's like, hey, put whatever you want in the tray. If you end up not wanting something, just don't put it randomly. Just put it in this bucket. Like we'll restock it, later on. I'm like, oh, that's a good, a good sales technique as well.
Yeah.
Give them a little tray to do their shopping with, and if they find something they don't want, at least you put it in the bucket and you just don't throw that Rocky Patel back in the Tatuaje box because you have no idea where you got it from.
Right. No, I mean it keeps it organized. Plus, you're like, all right, there's the did you put those in the bucket?
Yeah. Yeah. Home Depot used to have that. And then like, I was doing some shopping the other day or the other week, and they used to have buckets like in the aisle for like plumbing and then bolts and stuff. Where like, hey, don't just throw this anywhere, put it back in the bucket and we'll restock it later. I'm like, fuck's the bucket at? So I had to take it all the way to the register with me and then hand it to the lady. I don't know where I got this from, so.
We need to go find a bucket and just bring it up.
Yeah.
Make your own bucket.
That's it. But that's one thing I've told other lounge owners, get out and see what everybody else is doing. Like I said, it's there's no shame in copying somebody. If you're out of state or you're out of your area and you see, stop into a lounge, see what they're doing, see what their sales techniques are, see what they're doing, and then just copy it. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if I'm have a lounge in Florida and I'm visiting you in South Carolina and I see something that a lounge owner is doing, I'm like, I really like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that myself. That's a great technique. So many lounge owners think that, they know what they're doing. Oh, I've got this down pat. You don't,
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Like there's other things that you could be doing to drive business.
Especially if it's like you said. I mean, you can probably pick up some things here and there locally, but if you're out of state, that's how people learn. It's how it's just creative ideas are one thing, but there is the ability to see what other people are doing, and then either replicate it or maybe even change it slightly to fit your environment. But Kevin, I have to laugh here because we're sitting here chatting and some of these things are popping up on my screen, and since I looked up baseball minor league, I found your next hat.
Oh yeah.
It's the Montgomery Biscuits is the name of the team. And it's a fucking hat that's a biscuit, flat brim biscuit hat.
Oh my god, a biscuit hat.
That's a biscuit hat. It's got a big slab of butter on it too. This is my next gift for you.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I have to put this in our chat, but yeah, it's I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, things are going to be popping up left and right. And I'm like, Montgomery Biscuits? Here, I put it actually in the.
All right. And then, one can get better ideas for better hospitality at lounges instead of just customer service. It's not just about customer service. It's about, going into a place and then, having the chairs, that have charging adapters into the chairs, or having a cord on each chair. Obviously nobody, if you have chairs, you can't afford to buy new chairs just to have my couch in my lounge here has USB charging, so Jessica can charge her phone. But it's keeping people there the longest, making them comfortable. Let them charge their phones. Having the that lounge that Jessica and I had an opportunity to buy, their chairs were fantastic. The arms folded out. They had little ashtrays in each chair. They had cup holders that fit that flipped out in each one. I've been to lounges that had little tables that folded out so you could have your drink, or if you had a snack. You just never know what those little tiny hospitality things that why didn't I think of that? Just something to retain people. You want people there as long as humanly possible. So it's great chairs, it's comfortable atmosphere. It's it's all those things that some of these lounge owners. I mean, you've been to way more lounges than I'll ever visit in my entire life, but yes, I've been to some bad ones.
Yeah.
Bad chairs, bad lighting, not too smoky, music too fucking loud. It's
Or you go to some of the ones that I mean, this is just me. I guess and I guess you'd have to be a little bit more, maybe more localized or what have you. But I've been to a couple lounges where you go in, they have a cigar, cigar list. Humidor, and then you're like, okay, where can I smoke it? They're like, oh yeah, we have a private lounge.
yeah,
Like,
oh yeah,
but I want to smoke. They're like, well, if you give us $5 or $10, we give you a day pass. And I'm like, the odds of me giving you $5 or $10 right now are very, very low.
yeah,
I just dumped $50 and you can at least give me, especially if I'm out of town, you can give me a little bit of a pass for free. When I was in Chicago, I and Reese, I bought some cigars. Like, yeah, come on here, come over here. They put me in the freaking lounge here. It was surreal sitting in that freaking lounge. And I sat down, and some guy was just sitting across from me, didn't know him, and he had a bottle of freaking scotch. And was just like, "Hey, my birthday. You want to drink some scotch?" I was like, "Forget if I would drink scotch if it was just a Wednesday, sure."
yeah.
And I've been to a couple places that are like, "Yeah, I don't care how much you spend in the lounge. It's $5 or $10 if you want a day pass." I'm like, "Well, screw this. I'll go smoke out in my car before I do that." It's kind of like Edka said. It's the experience. That you give your customers, and that's one you're guaranteed, at least for me, that experience is going to be a one and done purchase. I'm not
Exactly.
coming back again.
Yeah, we were in a lounge in I can't remember if it was in Kentucky. I think it was in Kentucky, Jessica and I, in Kentucky or Tennessee. But like we went in, obviously we're from, hey, have you been here before? No, we're out of town, we're just visiting. Oh, and where are you guys from? Oh, we're from we always say Sarasota because nobody knows where Northport's at, but it's in Sarasota County, and most people know where Sarasota's at. And we got our cigars, and we went into the lounge, and the owner's like, "Hey, everybody, we couple out of towners. They're from Sarasota." And then, I remember one guy, oh, hey, I'm, used to live in Tampa or whatever. And that was like just that little thing of just introducing. And it was just like, that was the end versus, you go in out of town, you always have your group of guys and gals, and kind of intimidating. You don't want to sit in their little circle. So you kind of sit on the outside, but it's, you get a good lounge owner that like forces you in there. It's like, hey, we're going to throw you in with our regulars. And it's just like, I love that, like a little, Jess absolutely hates that. Freaks are no new people. No. And I'll be like, I'm going to get in there and shimmy up next to in between a couple of guys. And it's little things like that I like absolutely love.
No, it is. It's there's been some places where it's like they may have their private lounge area, but they still have a pretty decent area for everyone else to sit in.
Yeah,
which is great. That's cool. But I just think it's creating the environment where folks feel welcome. Doesn't matter who you are, and also providing some additional treats, if you will, because like you said, if you make me feel welcome, I sit down, I smoke a cigar, I'm probably going to smoke another one, and whatever you're selling, I'm probably going to buy more of it.
Oh yeah,
100%. If it is ass space. If I want to have a space for a cigar lounge, I have to look at every single area here as a space to sit someone to sit and enjoy their cigar, and then also to possibly buy, whether it's if you're selling wine, snacks, sodas, or what have you. You know, I've also been
Oh
to a
yeah.
couple places that don't have a liquor license. They're like, you know what? We give a complimentary drink if you hang out. Okay, great. So you sit down.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want? I like bourbon. Okay, we have this and this. Okay, great. And they may give you a couple of drinks for free, but you're gonna hang out. You're gonna smoke more. And probably gonna buy more as you leave.
Yeah. We were in a little lounge in Bristol, Virginia. A buddy of mine has a tattoo shop across the street in Bristol, Tennessee. It's Main Street. The half of it is Virginia, the other half is Tennessee. But yeah, we found a great little cigar lounge. They were super nice, super friendly. They had some great little boutique sticks. We were just there for the weekend. We went every day. That's
Where is
we went. Bristol, Virginia.
Okay.
So yeah, because right directly in front of my buddy's tattoo shop is the little marker in the road where they did the Geico commercial.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in Virginia. I'm in Tennessee. I'm in Virginia. That's out in front. He always said, you don't know how many people every day almost get hit by cars because they're trying to do the selfie in
What
the
was the
middle
cigar
of the road.
lounge that you're talking about?
I don't know. It's
You
right
and I
on
talked about this because I think I've been to that lounge.
I now that you say that, I think we did talk about that, and I think you did say that,
Yeah.
that you were at that, and it's a great little main street, probably one of the best main streets that I have been to in Main Street, America. Just antique shops, tattoo shops, like a barbecue place, the cigar shop, and it was just, you could spend all day on Main Street just going shop to shop and have a cigar, go get some lunch, and just everything else. And it was absolutely fantastic.
I think I've been to that cigar lounge because I think that's actually where I went to that cigar lounge. That's where I got a Crowned Heads, and I think that's when we did some swappings because I had some of my older cigars that he had given me. I think like one of the first La Bombas that was released.
Okay.
I cannot think of it. I know what you're talking about though.
Even if you said the name, there's no way I would remember the name of the the lounge. But I was smoking Nisker, almost getting like a citron. I don't think I ever got citronella on a cigar, but seems off. It's a budget stick as long as it's smoked okay. I like me a nice Nica Rustica, but I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had them in a while because they've been off. The construction has been.
Those things freaking smoke more than a freaking.
They put off some smoke, so whatever
they do, man.
And it's not a natural. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm just leaving it right there. But
yeah,
it could be citronella.
Do you say that cigar shop was in Bristol? Bristol, Virginia.
Yeah. It's in Bristol. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that cigar really, like you said, it had some good flavor to it, but man, it was always one of those ones where it just smokes you out. You can't be in a closed-in area.
No, can't be in a closed area smoking a Nica Rustica.
No, it's pretty you definitely can. You definitely know you're smoking one. You're definitely getting all smoke signals, man. I wonder what the next I don't know. The Drew Estate live shows, the freestyle lives, they used to be pretty exciting. Now they just, I don't know. The last couple just seem kind of flat, and I haven't even been paying attention to them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way. I just got a package from Drew Estate the other day, our media kit. We got the new 40-ounce Freestyle Live tumbler. It's a really nice tumbler. They sent me 3 of the cigars. The cigar is fantastic. Utterly fantastic. It's a, I don't know, maybe like an Ecuadorian Connecticut. It's a very light shade wrapper. So it's either Ecuadorian Connecticut, I find it hard to believe it's going to be a Connecticut since they've dropped some Connecticut's lately, but it was good. It was one of the best freestyle live sticks I've seen or I've tasted yet.
Really?
And, yeah, it was. I'll have to bring I'll fish them out if I try and remember and bring an extra one up for you. But it was really good, really good.
Interesting. I think the last one that I smoked that I really liked that I was blown away by was Blackened.
Yeah, the original, not the Connecticut.
No, the Connecticut was terrible. That was a bad
The
idea.
Connecticut was horrible. It was the worst the worst cigar. I was trying to figure out what that cigar was before everybody knew, and I smoked one, and it was that wrapper was just so bitter. I actually took the wrapper off and just smoked the binder filler, and it was fucking crazy good.
Yeah,
like sick how good that cigar was. So yeah, that wrapper just wasn't. It was not a good choice at all.
no, I love the original, man. When I smoked that and then I found out what it was, I was like, man, this thing is fucking. And then the price point, I still whenever I go in there, I see Blackened, I still grab a couple of them. That's a great cigar, man.
I still like it, you know. And obviously to a dark cigar like that, obviously the follow up is going to be a Connecticut, or it's going to be a lighter shade cigar. A lot of people say they don't like it, so I don't know what the I'm not gonna say Willie, you know, chose wrong on that cigar, but it's I don't know, maybe it needed a broader focus group, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah, I was interested by it, like you said, but man, oh man, once I tasted it, I was like, this was there's a lot of hype. I mean, I remember even the damn, like you said, the wrapper was just, it was bitter. It was really thin too, like traditionally thin.
Yeah.
Connecticut, it just did not hold up well either. At all. But I'm interested in in the most recent one that you're talking about, the Freestyle Live.
Yeah, banger of a stick.
Huh.
So I absolutely loved it. So.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what was the one after that? Was the Nika Rustica? Was it the Adobe?
Yeah, the Adobe.
Yeah, that was okay. I mean, I didn't really. I know you're a big Nika Rustica fan, so
I'm a huge. And then they got rid of the belly, you know, which sucks because that was my favorite Vitola. But it was okay. The Adobe. It was just okay.
Yeah.
I you know, and that was the one I guessed. You know, I guessed right. You know, out of the Freestyle Live, I hit it on the money that it was another Nika Rustica. But yeah, that one was it was just okay. It's a budget stick. So when I do smoke it, I do keep that into consideration.
Yeah, you have to.
That it is a budget stick. You know, $6 Chuck or whatever it is. That JD calls it. So I try to always remember that, you know. So I'm like, hey, you know, you're not smoking a $15 cigar, so try not to be too critical of that stick.
No, you definitely have to keep in perspective.
Yeah, like I said, it was good for the price point. 100% agree with you on that one. Good for the price point.
Yeah. I mean, it's you definitely. I think sometimes with those, especially with the Freestyle Live, everyone thinks it's going to be the next big thing or the next best thing. And sometimes it can just be the next best affordable thing. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all. You know, budget sticks are getting few and far between. So
what's the, have you smoked anything recently that's kind of wowed you?
The Dunbarton Solita Red, man. I'm trying to find a cigar that's going to beat that out for Cigar of the Year, and I haven't found it yet. That Solita Red is just fire. It is such a great cigar.
Really?
It is. It's so crazy good. But with that being said, I have not tried a bunch of new cigars this year. It's I just have a hard time justifying buying new cigars. I just have so many. I have literally thousands of cigars that I am never going to smoke in my life. Never. So it's hard to justify going out and buying more cigars just to, but that's when it's nice as going out to a lounge. Like when I come to see you, we hit a couple lounges. I'm buying some cigars that I have never smoked before.
Yeah.
You know, that's my goal. I definitely want to pick up some cigars because I can pick them up individually. You know, it's and I know you can go to like Smoke Inn or Corona and you can build your own little 5-packs and it's all you have shipping on top of it and everything else, you know, but you know, I definitely want to hit up some lounges, hopefully pick up, you know, a dozen cigars, you know, that I haven't smoked yet. But yeah, Edgar, that red is a great one. And yeah, it's this is probably the first time I've you know, because I do my top 5 list every year, and that's been like my number 1 cigar since like, I don't know, April, May, whenever I tried it and I smoked it for the first, I smoked it for the first time and then lit up another one right after it. And then every one has been one after another, just a crazy, crazy good stick.
Huh.
And yeah. And they're not always available, which is irritating, you know, so.
That's funny. Jennifer got me the Big Sky Mad Minnow.
Oh yeah,
it's the fly box set. So it's the minis.
Yeah.
Man, those are just flavor bombs.
Yeah,
flavor bombs. You know, I'm not a fly fisherman, but it was a really nice little set too. If you're a fly fisherman. But those are really, really tasty.
Yeah, I got to reach out to Brandon. I was, you know, doing a 3D printed cigar rest for him, and he sent me a picture the other day, or actually, I think it was last week now. You know that he got it. I'm like, hey, let me know, you know, because we need to go over the project, you know, and see what you liked, you don't like, you know, shoot me a message, and we'll chat. And I forgot, you know, he hasn't got back to me yet, so I know he just got married, so he's super busy, so I'm gonna cut him a little slack.
Yeah, we're gonna be going out there end of August.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. We're going out there for the big double nickel birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, getting old, Kev, getting old. But yeah, we're gonna go check out their lounge and kind of check out that whole scenery. The whole
yeah, we've been following my our friends Ray and Nikki. They own the local barbecue shop up in Sarasota, and they went out to Sturgis, but they're taking like a month off from the restaurant, which is pissing everybody off. You know, so but their whole travel out there, you know, through the they towed their bikes, trailered their bikes out to a certain point, and then they rode them, you know, through like the Dakotas and Wyoming and wherever the hell all that is. But beautiful. God, you know, and you need a couple weeks to go out there. I'd love to just see all of that, you know, Yellowstone.
We're going out for just a couple of days, and I have a feeling I'll be like, son of a bitch, just.
I know. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. So I didn't get a chance to ask you about the punch smoke at either end. What is it, the wiener or whatever it is?
Yeah, Mr. Punch's wiener, like the hot dog cigar.
Yeah.
Pisses me off, you know. But you know, listen, Omar and I are not the first to come out with a cigar that you can smoke from either end. You know, Asylum did it with the what was the Asylum? I forget what Asylum, but it was like 15 years ago or so that they did that, and it was not a success. You know, obviously, and then Omar, and there's some other guy that trying, I'm going to sue you. I hold the patent on that. Go fuck off. You know, you don't hold the patent on shit. You know, but he's one of those guys that, you know, I did it for, and he wants to make it seem I did it first. There's a couple of those guys in this industry. Well, I did it first. Okay. You did it first. You don't sell it now. So obviously it wasn't a success. You know, that was back at the early days of the of Asylum, and Omar and I, and they sold. They did well.
Yeah.
Punch, obviously they have that money behind them. So
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that smoked one, and
I
whether
smoked one.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
So
It was. I mean, I'm obviously biased towards
yeah,
the vice versa, but I think I'm pretty good with being objective about things, and I went into it and I smoked it, and it wasn't anything that was extraordinary or memorable.
yeah. I think because I mean I know with them they just advertise it as a cigar that you can smoke from either end. That was it. That was the advertising. At least with Omar and I, and the vice versa, really heavily promoting that you're going to get two distinct,
Yeah.
flavors depending on which end you light it from. That
Yep.
was the big thing. So I don't think, and I don't want to speak because, I love Asylum. I love Tom Lazuka, even though he's a fucking Wolverine. I don't think that they did. Yeah, I don't think they advertised it at that, and that was our big selling point of the vice versa was, you're getting it's designed, absolutely designed from conception to be two completely different cigars. So I think that's just what made us a little bit more unique.
Yeah. I also like the fact that I used to cut the vice versa in half all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to cut it in half and smoke the different ends. I've smoked it one way, I've smoked it the other way, but I've always found, for me personally, the most enjoyment is cutting it in half and having two cigars to smoke.
Yeah.
It was that I found it to have different flavor profile, and again, if I smoked one and I was done with it, I'm like, I could save this one for later. But if I wanted more cigar, I can smoke it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Punch is done, man. Like every year for that Father's Day, they have knocked it out of the park. On their Dad's Home movies, the ones in the beer can, the dad bod though that was a huge failure. I mean, man, that cigar did not smoke. Everybody just the construction was just abysmal on that cigar. It was bad, really bad. So, yeah.
I did. I mean, and they do a great job, with the all the Chinese food.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Themed cigars. What is the egg roll? What are some of the other ones they got out there? They got I know that they had the egg roll. They had the God Almighty. Why am I drawing a blank right now?
But that's what you get when you have a juggernaut behind you. You can create,
Chop suey, kung pao, spring roll. That's right.
But yeah, when you have that much money behind you, you can do anything. Packaging doesn't make any difference. Because you're gonna order 10,000 of a package. So it's just nice. And the cigars can be just okay, but if you have that memorable packaging that people are gonna keep, like they're gonna buy two of the Dad's Home movies. One to smoke and then one just to always keep because that box is fantastic. It was genius.
Yeah. And they were okay cigars, but they all had great packaging. They all looked like, they were takeout Chinese food boxes.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, tin, brilliant packaging.
Yeah, and it's becoming something that people are looking forward to every Father's Day. What's Punch going to do this year? Like, how are they going to go above and beyond this year? And then, like I said, the Dad's Home movies. It's like genius, the greatest thing ever. It's like, how are they going to top that? So I can't wait to see what they're going to come out with this year.
Yeah, that's right. It looked like a VHS. Folder. That's right. No, I mean, listen. It's sometimes, like you said, it's all about the packaging. I mean, and if you get it, The cigar is a $5 to $8 cigar. It's even better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're attracting folks in because of the way it looks in the packaging. They're like, "Oh my god, that looks so fucking cool!" They're like, yeah, and it's $6 cigar. Well, shit, I'll take a box.
Yeah, we got Edka on here, and one thing that pisses me off about Dunbarton and Steve, he makes these fantastic, like little budget friendly cigars, like the Polpetta, and then there's a couple of them that he's done, but they're short. They're like 4-inch cigars, and it's like, damn it! Like, for the love of God, can you give me a 6-inch? Because I got to smoke like 3 of those Polpettas. They're so good.
That's
And
why
then
it's
whatever.
affordable.
Yeah, like whatever, like I think the new one in was it's eluding me, and it's like, just give me a full size cigar, damn it. It's like it's like a $5 cigar. Just give me 3 of them in one long cigar. I'll pay $15 for it, and it's just, but yeah,
That's not a affordable cigar anymore, Kev.
I know, and nobody can tell Steve anything, and because he just does his thing, so.
You can tell him all you want. I don't think he's gonna listen.
Yeah, he ain't gonna listen at all. So that's gonna be a great show, though. I'm super looking forward. I think that's gonna be a very well watched show. We're gonna have a lot of people are gonna be on that cigar. So I think we're gonna because I definitely need some time to prep for that. Plus, I'll be coming back from South Carolina, so we'll probably skip next Monday show and then just do the Saturday show with be a very special for people listening. Very special. I Tapped That Cigar show with Steve Sacca. We're gonna be doing the GFY Lancero reveal show. It's gonna be a great show. I did my full. I just hope I don't look like an ass because I did full reviews on each cigar. My scoring system, and I tried to guess the wrapper on each cigar. Hopefully I get at least one of them right. So
I will not be a part of that discussion because I'm smoking. I'm just laughing because now I have the GFY and I have the STFU. I was telling you earlier, I need another Sacca pack that has some sort of curse word acronym. I'm gonna start building my collection.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm super stoked to hear your thoughts on as you're going through the cigars and smoking them, and hopefully taking a few notes, and interested to see which one was your favorite and least favorite, because I think, if memory serves me, my least favorite, which was a cigar that I really enjoyed, was the original the Now Leave Me the Hell Alone Lancero. I really liked that Lancero. One of the few Lanceros I like. And I think out of that was my least favorite.
Really?
So I smoked them all blind.
Right.
Jessica picked each one out for me, and I did all of my scoring on it. And I didn't know until the very end, which cigar I smoked. And I literally did it blind because I knew that Candela was in somewhere. So sorry, when is the show going to be with Sacca? That's going to be Saturday the 23rd at 7:30 Eastern.
So provide some context behind the show and what's the purpose of the show, Kev. For those who may not know.
So Steve Sacca did so when Steve Sacca came out with the NLMT8, the Now Leave Me the Hell Alone Lancero, Steve Sacca does not like Lanceros. So he went through 60 versions of the Lancero before he came out with the one that he chose. That was the best one, and he put that out there. But obviously there were a lot of other cigars that were really good. So he put together a sampler of all of those cigars. Well, not all of them, of the ones that didn't make the cut, and then he included a Candela, which he also hates. He hates Candela more than he hates Lanceros.
That's a double hate down.
So he put those all together in a sampler and sold those. You didn't know anything about the cigars. You got one of them was the original Now Leave Me the Hell Alone. So you got that cigar. So you had something to compare that with, I guess, in a way, against all the other ones. So I literally put a blindfold on, and Jessica lit the cigar for me, and I smoked it for a couple of minutes because I didn't want to know where that candela was, and that was the big thing. There were some lighter shade cigars. There were some darker shade cigars. So I really wanted a couple of minutes with each cigar completely blind. And there were a couple times I'm like, is this the candela? Like, because you got that silky, almost velvety feeling. And a couple of times like, oh, and I took the blindfold. It's not the candela, and then when I got to the candela, I almost couldn't tell that it was the candela,
you smoke them blind?
I started them off completely blindfolded. And then, but each cigar was blind. I didn't know which one was
double blind.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't know which one was, because I also did not want to know which one was the original. Now they leave me the hell alone.
Right.
I didn't want to know which one that was either. So, and then luckily I scored them all. They all got different scores, so there were no ties. And like I said, I tried to guess, at least I tried to guess the wrapper. Obviously there's no way of, I'm not good enough to detect the filler and everything else. And I said, I can't remember which one I liked. There was like one that I think, and that might've been the original one that I really disliked, like really, really disliked. And then there was a couple that I really, really liked. So
it's interesting. So you did a double blind up front. That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it because I love Lanceros. I know Steve hates Lanceros. I love Candela. I know Steve hates Candela. So the Candela Lancero is definitely a double down thumber, I guess, with Steve.
Yeah.
I've smoked it. I liked it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it's I haven't got to the extent like you have. Nor I don't think I will, but it is I may definitely have to remove the footband, or have Jennifer remove the footband and do some smoking in that, and do some evaluating on that end.
Yeah, and you can, you could leave the footband on. You can be honest. To be honest, like I said, my relationship with Steve, my relationship with Dunbarton, I was, I don't know. I think I was, I don't think I could have been honest with myself.
Right.
So I really wanted to take all that out of the equation and just enjoy those cigars, individually, true blind. And
I like the blinding knob. Like when we did the when me, you, and Jessica did the blind 5. We exchanged 5 cigars. That was a lot of fun, because that was just not only going through the process of picking out the cigars and unbanding them and sending them, but it was also receiving them and smoking them and going through it. And then the funniest part is watching the faces, expressions on the other person's face, when you're like, yeah, this cigar, I didn't like it that much. They're like, are you kidding me? That's a great cigar. So like, you're trying to pick out these cigars that's going to wow someone, and you're like, nah, not so much. Actually, I think you guys gave the best rating to a bundle. It was actually, I think, I can't remember what bundle it was, but it was like a $4 bundle stick, just because you're smoking it blind. You have no cigar band on it that's going to sway you. All you're doing is you have a rating card and a cutter and a lighter.
Yeah, that's it. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to smoke like the Lanceros truly blind with a blindfold, because I didn't want, looking at the cigar. Yeah, because we all, it's the same thing. You look at something, you see this light colored Connecticut cigar, you instantly have preconceived notions of what that cigar is going to be. Oh, the cigar is probably going to be light. It's probably not going to be spicy. Mm-hmm. And, and then you may will that to fruition, by prejudging it, or it's like, oh, this cigar is dark. it's a little toothy. Oh, this is going to be spicy, and then you might will that to fruition.
I've always found, like, I know when I've done some blind cigar tasting, and like you said, when you blind, meaning no band, not double blind.
Yeah.
That we always, I think I know for me, I always end up scoring lighter cigars that were spicier, probably higher than I should have, and scoring darker cigars that were not spicy, scoring them lower than I should have, because you have
of
that
your
expectation.
you have that expectation.
Yeah, when you're rolling into it, it's like, wow, I thought this thing was going to be creamy. I thought it was going to be mild. It blew my socks off. It's an 8. I really thought this was going to be a spice bomb. I thought it was going to be a freaking pack a lot of flavor. It was lots of flavor to it, but no spice to it. Very middle of the road cigar. I'm going to give it a 4 or 5. And it's like, well, if you really think about it, it didn't deliver on what your expectations were based off of what you visually saw and what you're expecting.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think it sways that by a point or two. I think it really does. I know I've done it. I can definitely see it. Knowing my luck, I'd probably have a double blind. I'd burn myself like a.
Yeah, that's why Jessica had to light it for me and hand it to me, and because I would have burnt my mustache or my
hang out, watch over you.
Yeah, exactly. But it was definitely a fun experience.
Was it your way of? Was it a really? Did you really want to do that? Have a double blind experience, or did you just do it so you could have Jessica light your cigar and hand it to you and feel like you were extra important?
Yeah, no, it was all about clicks.
It was
all about YouTube views, because I knew nobody else was going to go through that much fucking work to do.
And the benefit was being like, Jessica, hand me my cigar. Jessica,
yeah, exactly.
Light my cigar.
Woman, cigar me. So that's
you,
it.
Kev. Next time I'll light your beard on fire.
That's it. It's and they're just. There are cigar reviewers out there that they just can't be honest. They just can't be honest with, and I struggle with that. I struggle with that too. Being, I'll be honest and be one of the few people that say that is like, I'm biased. Steve is a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. I like him. We chat. I love his cigars. So when something's a little off, I'm like, it's a one-off. It's still a great cigar. This one was a little off, but it's great. You should go out and buy it. Mm-hmm. So, and that's why I try and say, that's why I stopped doing reviews. Cause I started saying, a lot of that. It's like, I don't know if I can be honest with this. Like I said, it's, the owner of the company is a friend of mine, John Huber, Crown Heads. It's a friend of mine, so I, have a hard time, if I don't like something, I don't want to say I don't like it. So
yeah, well, it's the same thing as when you make your own cigars. You'll. I know I've smoked some cigars, and I'm like, you almost want to force yourself to like it because it's your cigar, or it's maybe something that you're working on. But it's always good to surround yourself with people who are going to give you the truth. I mean, there's so many folks, and I know quite a few who surround themselves. They're in an echo chamber. They don't want to get outside of that echo chamber. They surround themselves with people that are going to say, yeah, sure. That's great. You're the best. That's awesome. That's a great idea. That's a great blend. But at the end of the day, you need someone to go, you know what? It's not hitting the mark. What were you trying to do here? Or your strategy or plan? What are you trying to do here? It's not working. It's not good. Let's go in a different direction. Or maybe we can do this and do that. I think when you have folks like that, that's one thing I've always loved, like you and Daryl. I send you cigars. I want your honest opinion, because I know you all. Daryl's one of those. He says, "Listen, great cigar, not my wheelhouse, but a really good cigar. Great construction, great flavor, great this. Not my wheelhouse, but I'm going to give you an honest assessment of it. Or you know what, this thing just wasn't good. Not that it wasn't in my wheelhouse. It just had construction issues, or maybe the flavor was off. If you don't have those folks around you, then all you're going to do is, I don't know. I think you run, I don't want to say you're always going to, but I think you run the risk of a misstep here or there. And and
Yeah,
you can't afford that.
you're right, and I think I've kind of built up a little bit of a reputation in the cigar industry of being that guy that's going to be honest with you. And, probably I would say 3 or 4 times a year, I get manufacturers, boutique, and even some big, surprisingly, some big guys, that have sent me cigars that, like, give us your honest thought, and one company, hey, we're releasing this at PCA in 3 months, we want your thoughts. And I smoked it, like, do not release this cigar. It is not good. Like, this cigar is horrible. And, went to PCA, I think it was my first or second PCA. I think it was my first. And there they are, releasing it. And I'm like, and it bombed. And it bombed. It only lasted a few months and it fucking bombed. And another one, and I'm like, the cigar is not good. Like I said, gave him a big long list. And the first thing was, it's light. First thing to do, when I got it, I'm like, why is this cigar so light? So I went and found like 4 or 5 other cigars, the exact same size in Vitola. And I'm like, you're like, whatever, forget what it was, 5 or 6 grams. You're lighter than everybody else. There's something wrong here.
Yeah.
I remember that one. I didn't hear back from him for months. I really thought I pissed him off. Like, he was a friend of mine. And then he finally got back to me like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I got all your notes. And I 100% agree with you. Everybody was telling me this was a great cigar. And I was second guessing myself. And I'm like, he goes, I didn't think it was right. And everybody was telling me it's good. Everything you said, 100% spot on. Like, you got everything right. And they held off for a year, and then when he released it, he sent me a pre-release. I'm like, it's perfect.
Yeah. Well, you have to be
Absolutely.
objective. I think that's that. I tried, and I think sometimes to a fault, maintain my objectivity. Because if you don't, it's you don't you kind of you get a reputation, or you ruin a good reputation that you may have.
What's going on, Frank?
Some folks just you end up kind of they may not say it to your face, but it's like, oh, of course, there he is. Don't trust their decision or their word, because they're just going to tell you whatever whatever it is that they want you to hear, or whoever's paying the bills or whatever the case may be. But yeah. I've had some really good cigars. I've had some really bad cigars. But I try and maintain that objectivity.
Yeah, and I'm a big on focus group testing. I'm just a big person on that. My last like 3 3D printed products or projects, I threw them out there, got a couple dozen people. The last one, like the little flexible Sasquatch there, I didn't even tell people what they were getting. And like, I posted, I'm like, do you guys trust me? Because then I sent him an email. I want your opinion when you opened that box, when you saw what was inside. And this, I sent that follow-up email, and everybody's like, blew me away. Absolutely loved it. And it was like, you give them questions, price point, and everything else. And there were a couple things people didn't like. So we went back to the drawing board. We did a second round of that, fixed all that. Nobody had a single, concern after that. And then that's when we released it. We were just talking last week. I think I told you I was smoking a cigar from a manufacturer that I've never had a good cigar from ever, but he's a really good guy and he's a friend of mine. And how do these people, I just want to tell them, will you please focus group your fucking cigars? They're all horrible. Every one of them. Every cigar you make is bad. And it's just, and it just sounds, I don't want to be a dick, but it's just like, I've never had a good one ever. I've never had one that burned right. The construction was always off. The flavor's not there. You're overpriced for what you're selling them. And it's just, he can't take it though. He cannot, he won't take it well. That will end our friendship. And that's it. So,
well, construction and price. When you get into flavors, I think
subject.
There is some subjectivity to it, but then there is like when you and I talked, and we were talking to Dion and stuff. I was talking about habanos, and it's like I don't like habanos. They're very sour, and we start going through the whole process of, well, they're not, they're not properly fermenting those leaves, and then it kind of got me back into specific brands, specific companies trying Habanos again because I know they're going to do it right. That's a flavor that is just it's undeniable. But I think some flavors are subjective. But when you talk about construction and price, at that point, same thing. There's a cigar maker, manufacturer, the older blends. It was like, okay, I love this San Andreas, good flavor. However, the construction, it's a roll the dice whether or not I'm going to get a good freaking burn or not. And part of my cigar experience is enjoying a cigar, being able to smoke it down to a nub, and have good burn. Yeah, I got to do some corrections here and there. That's normal, but if it's something that's getting mouse holes, if it's freaking running down, you're getting that freaking V-neck sweater, in the front of the cigar, and it's a hit or miss of the cigars you're getting, and then when you get that feedback, you're kind of like, well, shit, you know what? I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut and I won't smoke that cigar anymore because obviously I'm trying to give you some feedback on it. You don't want to hear it. All you want to do is surround yourself with people and tell you how great it is. Well, it's not great, and it's not great because I don't like the flavor. It's not great because I just smoked fucking 5 of them, and 4 out of the 5 had burn issues.
Yeah.
You want me to open up another box? I mean, at what point, when you're trying to figure out what the excuse is, when it's not the excuse, it's actually the construction of the cigar, Yeah. A lot of folks do that. They'll go down that freaking that line of excuses. Well, what's the humidity? Where did you keep it at? And you know what? I've known and I've seen, and you can walk in there. You've walked into humidors where you go in and you go, okay, you go like, if I smoke a cigar after getting a cigar out of this humidor, I'm fucking gonna be in trouble. It's gonna have some burn issues. I can just feel it in the air. But at the end of the day, if you let it rest or you let it acclimate in a good, rich environment, like right here, and it still burns horrible, then it's not how the humidor is being kept at the cigar lounge.
Yeah, and I know cigars cost money, manufacturers, and I see it more with boutique guys than anything else, guys and gals releasing cigars too early. I'm literally running into that now. I have 2,500 cigars that I just got in that I'm most likely not going to be able to sell this year just because of the humidity level. They're just. And I understand that. I dry box them for like a week. They're smoking fantastic, but they're still running 80% humidity. I can't sell those. No. That's going to be a budget cigar, in between because we couldn't get all the tobacco for the regular run. So we're going to do a little budget run. And I figured, I'll do a budget run, sell them, and then the other tobacco will come in. And it's just like, fucked for the rest of the year. I'll probably release them in January of next year. It is what it is. You do what you got to do because as a boutique guy, I can't afford to get a bad rap. You can't. You only get one shot.
You can't push those out. You can't push those out. Like,
Padron.
We'll hit it right on the next run.
That's it. All those guys, Rocky Patel, all those guys, they can. You can smoke a bad one and you'll forgive them. And it's Rocky. He's rolling 10 million cigars a year. I'll let this one go and I'll buy the next one. Not from Trash Panda, not from Stogie Road Cigars. You get a bad one.
Brand. You can hop to another one of their blends because they got other portfolios.
Yeah.
So big.
But no, it's when next time Kevin releases one, I don't know, that last one.
Yeah. No,
it was just that was a little off. So
RJ wants to know what level do we guys like our humidity? Kevin, fucker. There we go.
Oh,
Stop.
So I get this all the time because people think that the humidity level that their humidor is the humidity level that their cigar is. So people are like, oh, I like them at 70%. So I keep my humidor at. Well, unless you have a Cigar Medics, do you have one, Kerr?
Yeah, I got one right here.
It's dark as shit in here.
Dark as under the bed.
Yeah. So yeah, So yeah, so unless you really have one of these, you really don't know, because for the longest time everybody's like, oh, I like my cigars at 70%. Then when they invented this, people were like, oh, I like my cigars at 58%. I like my cigars at 60%. 70's way too moist.
Too wet.
So way too wet.
Yep.
So
No.
yeah, I have no problem smoking a cigar that's registering 55% humidity.
Yeah.
No problem at all. Gonna be great.
Yep. I just smoked that Sandela down the nub. And here's another Sandela out of the same humidor, and it's at 60%. That thing burns perfect, flawlessly.
60 to 62, and I am beyond happy.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly where it is. It's. I also think you need to take into consideration too. You may want to keep your humidor at a certain percentage, like you said. However, what you end up seeing is that the cigars are not going to mimic or mirror what your hygrometer is reading, because it's in cellophane, and it may not be absorbing all the humidity. So you are going to have some humidity issues, or not issues, variance, I guess is the best way to put it, between your cigars and what your hygrometer is reading you. I personally think one of the biggest things of all, especially for me, and I know you probably fight this as well, Kevin, with your humidor, is the heat. The heat is for me, that's the part that I don't want to, I hate struggling with, because that is really where you start getting into either your cigars are going to dry out really, really quick because the heat is too high and you wrestle with the humidity, or what ends up happening when you live down here in the South is you're trying to battle and balance out the heat humidity. And then that's really where bad things can go wrong with your cigars, with heat and humidity. Nothing ever.
Yeah, I have told people 1,000 times, you can control one of two things: the temperature or the humidity. It is rare that you can control both. So you got to pick which one. If your the humidity's too high, get that temperature down. Like right now, I've got in my Affidano humidor, my cigars are too high. They're running 80% humidity. I've got it set at 55 degrees, cold, trying to draw out that humidity. So get that temperature way down. And the complete opposite. It's like, you may want to get that temperature up. If your humidity level, you can't control it, and you cannot get your cigars above 55% humidity, jack that temperature up. That humidity will come up. Believe me, it will come up with that temperature. So
yeah, I'll fight with the temperature all day long before trying to wrestle with the humidity, because it almost seems like that's what follows whenever you're able to really dial up or down the heat. But man, it's you're in the South. And if you don't have a refrigerator humidor, you're going to find yourself in a horrible battle. I remember our old house. I remember calling you, going, dude, what the hell? You're like, you got to put in fans, you got to put in this, you got to put in that. And I was like, shit, I spent the door opening, especially when you get a lot of cigars in there. When you get, if you got a humidor, especially a cabinet humidor, and it's full, what do you think those cigars are putting off? That's organic. They're putting off humidity.
They're always so they're plants. They're always fermenting.
Yeah.
Kerr, what's the byproduct of fermentation?
Heat and humidity.
Heat and humidity.
And I remember I kept my door open for like a month of my humidor. And Jen would come down. She's like, "So you want to close it?" I'm like, "No, it's a sweat box in there. It's just what it is. You have to, I said, I'm looking in what Kevin did, where you're installing fans and hooking this up and hooking that up, and drilling holes here, and just trying to release that heat and humidity to the point where it's like, you could buy a really nice cabinet humidor for $1,000, or you can buy a refrigerator humidor for several hundred, or even a $2,000 stand-up full-size refrigerator humidor. It's worth your money, especially if you live in an environment where it's a lot of heat and humidity most of the year. In my opinion, I think it's a wise investment.
Exactly. And then do I trust Boveda and not to use a hygrometer in an airtight sealed Tupperware or Tupperware container? So before I built my walk-in, before I had all those, Jessica and I had 24 Tupperwares. Not a single one had any humidification in it at all. Now we did have one Tupperware or a couple, like when we would get new cigars in, like we'd use our humidimeter, and if they were low, we would get that humidity, put them in a Tupperware with a Boveda pack, and get that humidity level up. And then we take the Boveda out, because in an airtight container, where's the humidity going? Once it's acclimated and you got all those cigars, if you got 100 cigars in that Tupperware, there's no reason to keep a Boveda in there. No. It just unless you only have one Tupperware or two, and you're going in there you're in and out of it constantly. Yeah. Then you're gonna keep some Boveda. But I just had a comment today on my my new this is actually my new Boveda humidor. If everybody hasn't seen my video on that, absolutely beautiful humidor. I just did the unboxing on it. He had said he was struggling because his humidor was running, I think, about 6 to 8% higher than the Boveda pack that he had put in there, and he was irritated with that. And I'm like, well, I never trust that. It's just, if I want to keep my humidor at 70%, I'm probably going to keep like a 62 Boveda, maybe a 64, because I know, the wood, it's absorbing, it's releasing, the cigars absorbing, releasing. You're never going to acclimate that. It's never going to match whatever it is you put in there. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
it's a battle. You'll be battling.
Yeah. Unless you have a Cigar Medics humidimeter, you're never going to know what your cigars are doing.
That's the best thing that I've had, this thing here, man. Because like you said, especially when you're bringing new cigars, or if you're going to pull something out, you'll know, like, when to hold them, when to smoke them. Because I can tell you, this thing here is the lie detector test.
That's it. If you have a cigar in cellophane that you got from an online retailer, and say you hit it with the Cigar Medics humidimeter, and it's at 50%, and you like smoking at 60%. So you want to put it in a humidor, like, oh, I'll put it in there for a couple of weeks, 6 months. So I mean, and to raise the humidity level 10% in a cigar in the cellophane, it's no less than 6 months. It could take as much as 9 months for that humidity level to come up. So you need to remove them from the cellophane. If you need drastic changes quickly, you have to take them out of the cellophane. Is permeable, only to a point. You have to take them out of the cellophane if you want a drastic change quickly.
Yeah. I told you before when you were talking about, you get cigars and it's like, man, they're just wet. It's like, well, I can keep them in cellophane and keep them for a long period of time. But if I need a quicker turnaround time, take them all out of cellophane, put them in a wine door where the temperature is guaranteed cooler, and dry them out. That's the best way to do it. Then from there, what you can do is you can reintroduce humidity if you want, re-cellophane them, box back up. But you're definitely I look at it this way: you put on a rain jacket, you go outside and it's raining, you're going to get wet, but you're going to remain. A lot of these are going to remain dry. So if you have a cellophane on a cigar, it's like you said, it's permeable. Yeah, humidity is going to get in and out. It's going to transfer through that cellophane, but it's going to take a longer period of time. So you got to take off, if you want to get wet, you got to take off the rain jacket. You want to get your cigars dried out or reintroduce humidity faster, you got to take off the cellophane. You got to give it that openness to absorb or to expel the humidity that whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Spot on. All right.
That's all she wrote. Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. So, all right, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming on, joining us for a couple hours on a Monday night. Remember, we're going to be off next weekend or next Monday. We're going to be prepping for the reveal show with Steve Saka on the 23rd, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. It's going to be. It's going to. Yeah, thank you. It's going to be a fantastic show.
We may pop on live this weekend.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do something. Me and Kerr from a lounge.
We'll pop on live.
See what everybody's up to.
We'll give you some check-ins.
I'm looking forward.
We'll take you on the Stogie Road. We'll take you on the Stogie Road. We'll do some check-ins from the Stogie Road here. And
I'm looking forward to that nice, cool South Carolina weather. It's probably in the 50s during the day. Kerr,
bro, man, let me tell you something. Last week was nice. Last week was nice. It was 60s in the morning. It got up in the 70s. It got a little warm. The last couple of days. Today, the afternoon, it was 81, but it felt like it was 181. With if I wanted to, if I had cigars that were 50% humidity, all I would have had to do was just come out this afternoon, put it on my desk, and it would be the opposite of a dry box. It would have been a wet box, which I'm sure you can go in any direction with in a sexual way. But it would have been instant humidification with how humid it was today. Terrible. Yeah,
it was funny. I was at work today and I was come across that because they got that Hurricane Aaron out in the Atlantic now, and I was looking I'm like, oh, the spaghetti model has it going everywhere. There is one single line. Everything has it going back out into the Atlantic. It's not going to come. It maybe skirt up the coast. There was one line, and I'm like, ooh, this is where it's going to go. And my boss goes, oh, how do you know that? And I go, because this one line runs through the town I'm going to be at this fucking weekend. So yeah, it's literally like 50 of these squiggly lines going back out, and one single line, Kerr, goes straight through South Carolina.
Listen, if there's a squiggly line out there with bad weather, it's most guaranteed to freaking be squiggling through us, especially whenever you want to plan a getaway. So yeah, I don't know, man. Let me see here. That our little weather app is usually pretty spot on. It'll be raining this weekend. It'll be, and again, last weekend when it was nice out, it was, in the 70s and the 60s. You weren't here. You're going to come when it's going to be in the high 80s and humidity and high humidity. So you're basically going to be leaving Florida to weather to come up to Florida weather.
That's it. But luckily, we're not coming up there to do anything. Smoke some cigars, have some cocktails, and just hang out. If we don't ever go outside, that's fine with me.
No. I got the Stogie Road Lounge here. I got the AC. I got the fan. We got plenty of comfort. The lounges are going to be a nice stop. And what's really nice is the vehicle we'll be traveling in will be air conditioned.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Yep.
So, all right, everybody. That's it. So we will see everybody next week.
See you.
Welcome to the Puff and Ponder podcast, where conversations ignite. Yes, Kevin and her. Grab your seat, light it up, let's unwind. Kevin and her with stories in mind. From tech tips to last night's game. Join the talk, you'll be glad you came. Puff and Ponder, smoke, steak,